Hello everybody, we're live. I'm in Aomori in my hotel room, a very small room, and I am totally destroyed. It's been a very long day. I've been recovering from a cold as well. I've had the cold for like 2 weeks now, and I have these pills. Well, not even pills, it's just little drops that you eat. Apparently it makes you more lively. I don't really need that, but today was a pretty interesting day. I'm in Aomori, not for the Nebuta festival, but for this, to catch maguro and eat maguro, and this is the place to do it, Aomori. And I learned a lot of stuff today. There's a lot of things I didn't know about Aomori, about maguro, about the way that the system works, what makes delicious maguro, why Aomori's maguro is so good, why some maguro is better than other maguro, why maguro, tuna. So I came here for the answers, and I got a lot of them today. I have to be honest with you, it was a pretty busy day. This morning I got up and we had breakfast at the hotel. We then took a car about an hour and a half to the port. It was quite a far ride. We were staying in a hotel not too far away. I'm here with people from the prefecture and then another travel writer, and that this is set up independently. This is not with some corporate sponsor shoot. This is something that I initiated back and forth with the tourism office, and it has nothing. I'm not getting paid any money for this. A lot of YouTubers are taking money for episodes, and I might do that in the future. I've been offered that before. I've only done it maybe once before in the past. I don't do a lot of sponsored work, but that might change, because I think if you can make a video that doesn't seem like it's a sponsored video that doesn't seem like it's sponsored, I think there's no harm in that. As long as the information is good for everybody, I think that's the most important thing. It has to be fun. Okay, so before we start, and I see that there's some posts in here. Good evening, hi from Germany. I see Mateus is here, and Zun, and Mariama DX is here. Hello, welcome. There's 5 people in here. Awesome. I've been live streaming a lot lately. I'm getting pretty good at this. Well, better than I was before. I think I just feel more naturally like I'm having a conversation with you. Amanda's here, very good. Nice to see you, Amanda. So I asked for some questions from people on a post a couple of days ago, and said that I was gonna live stream today, and I want to just answer some of those questions because there were a lot of them. 18 comments I got on this post, and for Patreon, that's pretty good. We only have 154 Patreons on the Only in Japan Patreon page, and that's pretty special to me. I kind of like it that it's kind of a small group. If you compare the channel on the whole with 500,000 subscribers, and we have 154 people supporting the show here on Patreon, I think that's really manageable for me. So I kind of I love this because it's manageable. Sometimes I think that there's too many people, too many comments are coming in, but here I can manage it to the people who really care about the show enough to support it. Sellers, Travelers, who is very active with asking questions. I always appreciate this. Have you ever met with another Japan-based YouTuber, such as abroad in Japan? Yes. Well, there's Angela Ann. Angela is internationally me, and I met her. That's a very interesting story. She contacted me about a year ago, more than a year ago, because her channel was pretty small, and she said that she watched my channel and wanted to collaborate, and I didn't know if I wanted to do that because I don't like to collaborate with a lot of other YouTubers. I just don't think I need to. I have a lot of other friends that aren't YouTubers. I don't need to collaborate with strangers. I like to collaborate with my friends. And Angela was the first person that I did a YouTube live stream with that I'd never met in person. So I met her once, and she was really nice. And then we did the live stream in Shibamata, so that was a lot of fun. And then her channel got big, and I don't hear from her that much. That's okay. We weren't really friends to begin with, and yeah, we kind of keep in touch. I don't want to. I'm not a collaborator. I tell a story. I don't make daily vlogs about my life, and my life is not other YouTubers. My life is with my friends, and that's important. I've met abroad. I've met all the people. I've met Rachel and Jun. I've met abroad in Japan. I've met Charla a few times. I've met all these people, and we're all connected by two people. There's two people in the middle of all this. It's Simon and Martina, and Simon and Martina had parties, a Halloween party last year, and they had a Christmas party, and I wish they'd do more parties. They're really fun, and people come from all over Japan, all of these YouTubers that know each other from YouTube, just through reputation, I guess, and we come and we meet and we have parties, and some of the people will vlog it. I don't vlog that kind of stuff, so you don't see that on my channel, but other people do. So yeah, they're pretty cool people. All of them are really, really nice. So yeah, you know, I think it would be good to have coffee, but we're not like, I have other friends and I have other people in my life too. So those are the people who you see on the show. So that's a really good question, and that's an honest answer. You might see collaborators, and I don't see them as competitors. I don't want to spend too much time on this question because there's a bunch of them, but the other YouTubers are not competitors. They're look, if the pie is really big for YouTube, and most of our market is the West, foreign YouTubers. That means the United States and Europe. And if the people, if more people are attracted to YouTubers in Japan, that's a good thing for all of us. I like to think that some of the people who watch my show watch other vloggers, watch other YouTubers. And if they do that, then it only gets bigger for all of us. If you love Japan, I think you're watching more than one show. Of course, you're probably going to want to watch this show, because I like to believe I do, well, I want to say we, but it's just me. I do the best that I can do with the information in a more journalistic way. So thank you for that question. I appreciate it. Pamela End of Horn. Hi, I'm a new patron. Thank you very much. We had a lot of patrons. Actually, we had a bunch of patrons leave, a bunch of patrons change, and a bunch of patrons come in. And it seems like it's almost like an open door, which is really cool. Like, when some people will leave, which is great, because I don't expect everybody to support me for the end of eternity. I'm really happy if you support whatever you can do, okay? That's the most important thing. If you can, I appreciate it very, very much, because it supports the channel. I made a trip based on your support. And when you can't, you leave, and then some people, one person left and then he came back, and you know, that's what Patreon's all about. I think you support when you can, and when you need support, I'd like to think that the community would come and support you, and we can use this as a place. If you have something that you want to promote that's related to Japan, which is what everybody is sort of like surrounded by here with this Patreon page, you know, I absolutely would love to give you a shout out if you're Patreon, you know. So that's not even the question. I suck at this. I read on the wiki of Aomori that they have a festival in early August. Yes, that was the festival that I intended. So Pamela, check out the live stream from 2 days ago, and you'll see that festival called Nebuta. John Pine, talk a little bit about making the NHK World Journeys in Japan episode. Is there a standard NHK crew? I've seen many JIJ Japan Journeys in Japan episodes, and yours was one of the better ones. Oh, thank you. How was it received? All right, so the Journeys in Japan. NHK. I've been working with NHK for almost 10 years now as a reporter, and I did initially a show called Tokyo Eye, which I still do when they need me, but I've sort of quote-unquote graduated to other stuff. And Tokyo Eye, yeah, it's a good show, but I've done all the topics already in the city, so now we have new reporters who do the jobs. After that show, I helped start up one that was a 4-show series called Destination Kansai. I wish it continued. So I did 2 of the 4 series, and I helped them with starting that. and then I did Teach Me Ninja Sensei, which is an animation for NHK World. I'm the Indian ninja. I guess it's because my mom is from India, and it was, you know, even though I talk like an American, my mom's from India, they made me the Indian ninja, which is cool. And then I do Journeys in Japan, and I started doing this show about 2 years ago. I know the director very well. We have a team. It's a cameraman, audio man, director, and me. Usually it's a team of 4 or 5. Sometimes if it's a festival, we'll have a second cameraman come in and shoot from different angles. We had 6 people on the day that I filmed the Journeys in Japan episode, the Torch Festival. And we didn't even use a lot of that festival footage, which was surprising, but the Torch Festival, we had 2 cameramans, and in the end we only used about 2 minutes of the footage. So it's like, whoa, what a colossal waste of money. But NHK makes these programs, that's TV though. You take a lot of shots and then you edit it, and NHK is cool because whatever's left over, they use it as an archive, and other directors will go in and use the archive. So it's not like anything goes to waste with NHK footage. They took, it must have been like a day's worth of footage, and they only used 2 minutes of it, and the rest of it will probably get recycled into something else. Journeys in Japan and all of the NHK shows that I've done have been a big impact on the show that you see on Only in Japan, because I sort of learned how to make a show. I learned how to produce an episode by calling ahead, sort of writing a script, planning it, planning the shots, angles. I want a shot from here, I want a shot from here. I kind of in my mind know what I want. I know how the scene will flow, and I learned that all these shots by working with professional cameramen. I learned about the audio with working with audio people and asking lots of questions. I learned about the directors, learned directing from the directors, and this is the best way from experience. So NHK and working, I've been on over 100 location shoots with NHK, and each one has made me a better producer of my own show, Only in Japan. So we can credit NHK. Thank you NHK for making Only in Japan better, raising the bar, because I think YouTubers, they do the jump cut and they do quick edits and they use 1 camera. I kind of use 3 cameras. I don't do jump cuts, I do narration. And I don't learn a lot from other YouTubers' styles. I don't imitate other YouTubers. I create my own style. I create my own content. I create my own voice. And that's the voice that you hear right now. This is all created from your feedback, because you're the one watching, and from my experiences. It's a good question. I haven't talked a lot about NHK. Moria Villarreal. I apologize if I'm not saying the name right. Have you ever thought of traveling to other countries to see how Japan has influenced that country? For example, here in Sydney, Japan has a huge influence in food and entertainment like karaoke, onsen, ryokan. Yeah, I did the one in India, but it wasn't well received. I might do other ones, or I might start a 2nd channel. I think that's our 3rd channel. That's probably what I would do. I would start a 3rd channel. The thing is, the people who watch the Only Japan show want content on Japan. They don't want content about Japan and other countries. I get a lot of new subscribers from those shows from India, but the purpose was to show culture in another country about Japan, and it wasn't received that great from a lot of fans. Sort of like with the live streaming, there was a pushback on it, so I created a 2nd channel. I might do it. I'm not sure. The world's a big place, and I travel a lot, but mostly domestically. After the Olympics, I will definitely have a channel like this. I can tell you that. So great question, Moira. Joanne. Joanne's she always gets lots of questions. Joanne, I don't know if I'll answer some of these privately. There's like 6 questions. I'll just answer like 1 or 2. Hope you don't mind. The onsen closes in 30 minutes, so I have to make this also kind of brief. Fantastic chance to get out of the city, yes. Please be aware of the Oba-chans telling tales of famous apples. That's true. This is Aomori. Aomori's famous for apples. Here are some questions. I'm just going to answer the first 2. I hope you don't mind, Joanne. Maguro. Is there an official quota on how many maguro can be caught each year? It's not a quota, but there are rules. The problem is that the rules are not national. Aomori has rules, and Hokkaido has rules, and the Hokkaido maguro fishermen have more liberal rules than the ones in Aomori. Aomori, you can't catch fish in a certain way. I don't think you can use nets. You have to use by fishing, the old way, and which is good. I'm totally against net fishing. I think it's cheating. I think if you're gonna fish for something as precious as big as a maguro tuna, you should do it the old way, and not do it with nets, because I think that's just cruel. There's a quota. I haven't figured out what it is yet, but I'm gonna ask tomorrow. What bait is used? I'm not sure. I'll ask that tomorrow. This is a great question. Are they still pole line caught? They are in Aomori. And are they all wild? Farmed? They're all wild. No maguro is farmed. You can't farm maguro. Maguro is they're too big. They can't be farmed. They build up their muscle by swimming thousands of kilometers. I would never eat farmed tuna. I assume the majority goes to sashimi. Yes. What do you consider the best cut? Otoro is very fatty. Chutoro probably. And I like akami. You know what? I like all three of them. It just depends. I like a little bit of otoro and a lot of akami. And chutoro, just put in a couple in between. So I like to eat all three of them if you get the chance. Great questions. Linda B. Linda. I know Linda, I always appreciate all the comments that you put, especially in the live streams. And on Instagram. So thank you very much, Linda. Yeah, Joanne answered asked some of those. Number 4, if they are farmed. They're not farmed, and they don't use growth hormones. The maguro is what they are. They can, Japan can try to farm maguro, but it's gonna taste so bad. I know they're never gonna be successful with that. They're not farmed here, and I try not to eat a lot of maguro anyways. But when I do, I look, if you're a cheapskate and you don't want to pay for the maguro and you pay not a lot of money, you're gonna get really cheap maguro. You're gonna get one that could be farmed or is probably from a cheap country. If you pay a lot of money, or you pay market price for the maguro, like here, it's not cheap, but it's from here, you're gonna get a real maguro, like a really high quality piece of fish that you could probably pay I think it's 5 times as much for the same fish in Tokyo. You can get that here cheaper. Have you ever thought about going to one of the fireworks festivals? This is Corey Edwards. One of the fireworks festivals or factories. Yes. I tried to get permission a few years ago and I didn't get permission in time, and then the fireworks were over. This year I have too many other topics to cover, but it's on the schedule for next year. So thank you for that. Yeah, the world's best fireworks is something. I've been invited to the fireworks festivals up in Akita, the national one. So I might go to that. That's later on in the year. Thomas J. O'Brien. Hey John, my buddy and I are planning on a trip to Japan once we get enough money. In your opinion, what's the best time to go? This is an easy one, and I'm only going to say it once. The beginning of May and September. September, it's cooled down from summer, and it's still kind of summerish, and the days are long. May is sort of the same as September, except it doesn't rain. It's before the rainy season, and it's still moderate like spring. And you can wear shorts, and you can wear maybe a sweater or a light jacket. It's perfect. Summer's too hot, and winter's too bad, and fall is unpredictable. October is okay. October's okay, just like April's okay. Cherry blossom season is still kind of cold here. Great. Linda B again. Linda. Will you be visiting the Kamegaoka stone site? And no, I'm just doing this, the Mago, and I'm going back. It could be a location shoot in the future. Mira from Canada Jean-san recommended I go there. So she recommended it last year, but I haven't had a chance to go. Joanne liked that one. Cool. So Linda, I guess you should ask simple questions like how's the weather? I know. She said that's a rub. I don't mind people joking around with me. I'm cool. I take it pretty good. Char Clock, have you ever considered only in Japan world tour? I think I answered that. Yes, I have. That's something that will definitely, I think, be in the works, because after 2020 with the Olympics, I don't know where things are going, but we still have a really great viewership here. So I probably will move to more wider content. Stephanie, I missed the first live streams. Yeah, I do apologize. This is Stephanie Perez. One of the last, let's see here. One last question, John. Which bank is over there that you have been in the U.S.? I don't use American banks here. I used to withdraw money from Citibank, but they went bankrupt in Japan and were bought out. You don't need to use American banks. You can get money out from the 7-Eleven at bank, at the 7-Eleven convenience stores, and at the post office. So you don't need American banks. Actually, I don't like I don't like any banks, to be honest with you. But there are none here in Japan that I know of that are reputable. I mean, there's no locations for them to withdraw money or for support. So it's better to just use a Japanese bank. Yeah, I've been using the same bank for almost 20 years since I got here. So those are really great questions. Let's go to some of the ones from the last post here. Live stream from Aomori. And then I'm gonna take some from you on the other side. Have you been enjoying the boat trips? Have you thought about hitchhiking on the sea? You know, Matthias, yeah. I mean, I think it'd be cool to hitch a ride from a pier, a port, to an island. That's definitely something that I would try. So, if we see that, it's gonna be because of that idea. I like that. So Thomas Jatanen from Finland. Gosh, that's one place I want to go, to Finland. I'd like to ask about work. Other than teaching jobs, how easy is it for a foreigner to get work in Japan? Look, no matter what country you go to, if you're doing a job that a Japanese person can do, you're probably not going to be able to do that job here legally. It's as simple as that. If you don't have a visa, you have to arrange the visa in advance. And if you get one for international work, it has to be something that the locals can't do. So it's not easy at all. Like, a lot of people have been asking me to help them find jobs on Facebook. They'll message me, and I'm like, hey, help you. I'm not a headhunter, first of all, and second, what skills do you have? Number one, if you don't have a college degree, you're not gonna find any job in Japan unless it's like an under the table job, working in a field or something that migrant workers would do, which are not bad jobs, but you will be taken advantage of. Number two, even in Japan. Number two, if you don't have a college degree, no one is going to take you seriously. You're not going to be respected because you're a Westerner coming from the outside. You don't even have a college degree, and you want to find work in Japan. You won't be respected. You won't get paid well. You need to have a college degree, and I think my advice to anyone finding work, and this is the final thing I'm going to say on it, is get a job doing something that you might not want to do, and do it for a year. Finish your contract, do it for a year, and then when the year's done, find another job. Or 6 months before, start looking for another job. But honor your contract, because when you leave, you're going to get a recommendation from the school or whatever, and that's going to help you big time, because you don't have anybody to vouch for you professionally in this country. Come as an English teacher, that's what I did. And from that, and after learning the country very well through this job, I started my own company, and now I have my own company, and I have the YouTube channel, and I have a lot of other stuff that I'm doing based on my experience and time. Japanese people respect the elderly, and I'm not an elderly person, but I'm not young anymore either. So that means that I get a little bit more respect than somebody who's 20. It's not based on the same system that you have in your country. It's based on the Japanese system. You have to remember that. You're coming here, you're young, you're foreign, you're not Japanese, you don't speak the language, you probably don't have a lot of money. Don't expect to get a job here. Don't expect to beat out people who have been here for 20 years that are looking at the same job as well. Even if you're more qualified, they'll probably take the older person based on respect. And that's something that's a great quality of Japan when you get a little bit older. And working here is it's hard. Where can we watch it? I'm not sure what you're talking about. So I'll always try to live stream. Steph here. Which airport is the best to use from the U.S.? Narita or Haneda, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. From Narita, you can. It's easier to go to Asakusa, and then from Haneda, it's easier to go to Shinagawa. Both of them are pretty convenient in the sense that, you know, arriving in Haneda, you think because it's closer, it's better. It's also more crowded, and the transportation is more compact. It might be a little bit faster, but I don't think it's that much because there's also a lot more congestion in this area of Tokyo. So it doesn't really matter which airport you come into. I'm being serious. I prefer Narita actually because it's just bigger. Wondering about the onsen. This is Linda B again. Any onsen that's co-ed. Co-ed we say konyoku. Okay. Konyoku is a co-ed onsen. Takaragawa Onsen I recommended, Kurokawa Onsen in Kyushu, Noboribetsu in Hokkaido that I went to when I was hitchhiking. There's too many of them to recommend. I think if you go to TripAdvisor, they probably know better than me. I like Takaragawa. I used to like Kusatsu, but there's too many tourists now because they got PR money from the government, and that wasn't fair. And Kusatsu Onsen is nice, but I think it's a little bit overrated. There's onsen all over the place. Alright, I give about 3 minutes left here. See here, Linda B, Stephanie Perez, thank you. Moira, Julie Jai Foster. Do you know anyone who is retired to Japan? No, I don't. That's a good question. I'm planning to do this at least for some of my retirement. That's a great idea. And wondered if you have any insight. I think it's good because number one, if you're retiring, that means you're probably a little bit older. That means that you'll be respected just based on your age here, which is awesome, as I was saying before. So it's a wonderful place to retire, and I think it's very safe. The food is healthy. The weather has 4 seasons. It's moderate. The country's small. It's manageable. It's easy to get around, I think. You don't need to drive. You have public transportation. I think this is a beautiful place if you have the money, because it's not cheap without a job. And that's it. So thank you, Julie. That's a great question about retiring. I never thought about that before. So now I'll take some questions from people viewing right now in my small room. You can take a look. I'm in a tatami room. I set up the bed myself. There's my suitcase and camera from today's shoot. And I'll turn the camera around. I have so much equipment. I've been recharging the batteries all day. I have a separate microphone. That's my phone batteries. Gosh. There's the camera, and I have the GoPro on the ground, and I have the DJI Osmo is recharging down there with 3 GoPro batteries. It's crazy. It's so much better to use just one camera than 3, but it makes for a better one. This shirt I got today from the owner of the boat. It says Maguro Ichidai. I don't know what that means. Anyone? It means one maguro, basically. So I got it from it. On the back it's written something. I can't show you. On the back there's some writing from Maguro. They gave it to me for free for doing the tour. They're pretty happy by going on the boat. They want to make this a tourist attraction. Good, whatever. It's sort of expensive for this. So I asked you on Instagram about insurances, wondering if you could answer that. Could you remind me what that is? I think I recall it, Mariama, but if you could write the question here again, that would be really helpful. What time does the boat leave in the morning? Whoa, I think I just had dinner with the manager lady. She said, I think 10 a.m. 10 a.m., yeah. Yeah, if you don't ask it here, I'll search it out on Instagram. But I'll be honest with you. The moment I'm gonna go take a bath right now, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go right to sleep. I'm dead tired. We woke up at like 6 to come here, and I went to bed at past midnight yesterday. So I'm operating on very little sleep. Yeah, I get about like hundreds of comments or hundreds of questions every day. I'm sorry if I don't remember exactly, but I remember something about insurance, health insurance, right? About the health insurance. Yeah, the Japanese. I'll answer it quickly, and then I'm getting off because I have to go to the bath before it closes. Health insurance is free here. I have a health insurance card. I might do an episode on this, but it works pretty good, although I think that the doctors in the U.S. are overrated. I found no problems with the healthcare in Spain when I had to go to the hospital in England and in Japan and even in China. I've been to the hospital and in Thailand, and I never really saw a drop-off in medical care. I think the only time that the U.S. healthcare is better is when you have surgery or you have a surgeon or a specialist. That's when America does better because they do all the research in these topics, so they have the best place in the world for that. When it comes to everyday care, America probably is it's mediocre at best. The doctors use the system to make money. And in Japan, I think there's a little bit of that going on too. I really don't know. I don't want to get too political, but I know that I don't pay anything for my healthcare because I have a company that I do consulting work for is paying for that for me. I'm really lucky. But I used to pay, I think it's about $200 to $300 a month. I think the most you pay is about $400 a month for healthcare in Japan per person, and it's reasonable. There's a small deductible and maybe like 1,000 yen or $10. So you have to pay $10 each time you see the doctor, but the insurance covers the rest. I thought it's pretty reasonable, and the care has been pretty good. The doctors were very knowledgeable. So yeah, I mean, I've never had any problem with the healthcare. I'm pretty happy with it. The problem I think with the U.S. healthcare, and this is the last thing I'll do, is that people are not fixing the problem. They're doing healthcare. This is the problem, and why Japan doesn't have a problem. One of the reasons, Japan's system controls the costs in a way, meaning it doesn't cost a lot of money to do a lot of tests. It costs money, but not this. It costs a ridiculous amount of money to do a test, and who pays for the test? In the U.S., I believe the hospital sets the prices, and the insurance companies pay a huge amount of money, and that creates high insurance rates, especially when people can't pay for these. But none of the politicians are talking about controlling the costs of healthcare. Like, why is a hospital stay in the U.S. $10,000 more than a 5-star hotel? That's ridiculous. I mean, if you have insurance, you have to pay $10,000 a night, or even $5,000. You shouldn't have to pay more than $200 a night in a hotel, or in a hospital. So the costs are they're disproportionate. You control the costs, and then anybody can go to the hospital and get the care, and the insurance covers the difference. That's what it's supposed to be. But the costs are so high. This is Japan, and this is the U.S. between the costs and the people paying it. It's just not balanced, and that's all I have to say about it. I don't want to talk about politics. I think no one is happy with the healthcare in America, but the system here is not bad. I don't have any complaints. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the support. I am totally bushed, man. I tried to answer Mariama. I know that might not be what you're like, but I'm following the debates back in the U.S. and I have mixed feelings on both sides. So I'm not a political person. When it comes to politics, I vote once every 4 years or once every 2 years. Whoosh, that's it. The rest, I'm a happy person. We live with the decisions of the people that we elect, and that's what happens. Japan is doing well. Japan is a beautiful day. There's a typhoon coming. It shouldn't affect me here in Aomori, but I will be going back to Tokyo the day after tomorrow on the 8th to finish editing the hitchhiking video and the next video. So all that's coming. Thank you once again so much for the support on Patreon. If you're not watching this live, I'm guessing that you're gonna be watching this replayed, and I can't thank you enough, all of you, for the pledges. No matter how much you give, whether it's $1, whether it's nothing, whether it's $5 or $100, is one of the daimyo, which I send gifts to once a month. They're not really big gifts, and I know people who are daimyo, they do so, I think, out of the kindness of their heart, and I do the best I can out of that to be responsible and give back as much as I can to all of you. I'm going to start adding in more reward tiers, and but first my priority is to finish up with the Kickstarter project, which has been going on too long. And once that's done, then you're going to see some more changes in Patreon, but one step at a time. You don't try to take on too much. It doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. One step at a time. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. I'll be live streaming again on the Only in Japan Go channel, so definitely check it out. And I do appreciate it. More reward tiers, that's coming. I saw the last comment. Thank you. Where is that? Cloverful18. Thank you so much. Thomas, you're very welcome. Amanda, thanks for joining here. Mariama, One Chill Dude. Mutlu, oh, I'm sorry I didn't catch you. Mutlu, thank you very much. Sascha, thank you. Hello from Ireland. Any plans for the Postcard Club? That's a tier that I was going to introduce this month, but with all the other work, my priority is the DVD, so it might not come until next month, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Good night. Chlorophyll, Mariama. I'm just going back to the comments because I don't want to miss anybody. I'm so thankful for all of you who stayed here to join. Amanda, Mariama, Zun, Tahir, good evening, and Mateus, thank you very much. All right, everybody, have a good night, good day, wherever you are in the world. Had a lot of fun tonight. Now I'm going to the bath and going to bed. Bye-bye.